Dallas woman Rosie Esparza, who fell to her death on Friday from the Texas Giant, the ride dubbed the world's highest steel hybrid roller coaster, didn't feel safe, witnesses said. Riders said 3 clicks could be heard when the roller coaster's restraints locked into place. Esparza told a ride attendant she was concerned when hers clicked just once, but the attendant told her as long as she heard a click, she was okay. This appeared to be what allowed Esparza to fall from the car moments later. One witness said,
"When they pulled up, the daughter and son of the lady that flew out of the car were hysterical. And guys that were sitting right behind the lady said that right when they came down off the first bump and hit that first turn, she flew out."
The ride's German designers will travel to Texas to investigate the cause of the tragedy. Spokesman Tobias Lindner told the Dallas Morning News, "I'm sure there's no safety bar that is broken, but that we will be on site and we will see what has happened."
An unnamed 3-year-old girl was playing in an inflatable castle in China's Guangxi province on Thursday when a strong gust of wind swept it into the air, throwing the young girl to the ground. She suffered massive injuries and died a short time later. According to Chinese media outlet CCTV News, the playground was not licensed, and the inflatable castle was fixed to the ground using just wires and stones. In a heartbreaking video, we see a woman, reportedly the child's grandmother, fight to try to keep the castle on the ground, but she was unable to overcome the strong gust of wind.
It's a fun and thrilling way to beat the heat. The Shoot the Rapids water ride, a main attraction of the Cedar Point Amusement Park in Sandusky, Ohio. The log chute ride takes passengers up a steep incline and then plunges them down into a pool of water below. But fun turned into fright for 7 park-goers on Friday. According to eyewitness reports, the log chute boat malfunctioned and began rolling backwards. The ride flipped over, plunging its occupants underwater and trapping them temporarily. All 7 occupants were injured. Were it not for the quick thinking of park guests and workers, this accident could have ended off far worse. Park officials say they are now investigating why the ride malfunctioned.
A group of British thrill seekers had an amusement park visit they won't soon forget on Saturday, after a deer met its unfortunate end, courtesy of their roller coaster train. The group were aboard the Ultimate at Lightwater Valley in northern England, Europe's longest roller coaster, when a deer stumbled onto the tracks. The family ride smashed right into the poor animal, chopping its head off like a cheap piñata and spraying its leaky insides all over the passengers. We sincerely hope the woodland creature didn't leave behind an orphan son, lest Disney make a Bambi sequel based off the gruesome incident.
5 people were injured on Thursday night when they were flung from a moving ride at the North Carolina State Fair in Raleigh. It was about 9:20 p.m. and people were eager to get in a last spin on the Vortex before closing time. Witnesses said that just as people were getting off, the ride restarted without warning, sending people tumbling back to earth from as high as 30 feet. One man said he heard a bang as people fell and then spun around to see the ride operator fall to his knees and cry.
The Texas Giant, billed as the tallest steel hybrid coaster in the world, was the scene of a horrific accident over the weekend. A woman died after she wasn't secured into her seat properly, witnesses said. While most seats were secured with 3 clicks, her seat harness only clicked once. An employee told the woman not to worry about it when she asked to double-check. The ride reaches 14 stories high, and witnesses said that as the coaster was coming down from a peak, her safety bar released, causing the unidentified woman to tumble out of the coaster, landing on a platform below. The ride is closed pending further investigation.
The August 4th video shows a man and a 24-year-old woman aboard the Slingshot ride in Luna Park in Cape d'Agde, southern France. The ride works by stretching 2 long elastics attached to the rider's cage, then releasing the cage's anchor. But on August 4th, one of the 2 elastics snapped on the cage's first return, causing it to crash into the stanchion where the remaining elastic was attached, breaking the female rider's leg. The riders were finally rescued after remaining suspended in the air for an hour. The male rider was not seriously injured. Luna Park officials said the accident was the result of a manufacturing defect in the elastic band.
Watch the aftermath of the horrific Alton Towers coaster crash. Just after 2 in the afternoon on Tuesday, the Smiler roller coaster at Alton Towers Amusement Park crashed while traveling at about 50 miles per hour. 4 people were seriously injured, and 1 thrill seeker might lose a leg after the accident that left passengers trapped 25 feet above the ground for almost 4 hours. According to Alton Towers, all of the guests were evacuated by 6:35 p.m. 2 men aged 18 and 27, and 2 women aged 19 and 17 were airlifted to the hospital. It all happened when the Smiler, which holds the Guinness World Record for the most loops of any roller coaster, was experiencing technical difficulties. Technicians sent an empty test coach through the dizzying ride, followed by a coach carrying 16 people. The empty coach got stuck somewhere along the line, and the one with people in it then collided with the empty one. Reports say the ride had been closed earlier in the day because it had broken down before being reopened. This is the 3rd time in the 2 years since the ride opened that the Smiler has been closed due to a malfunction. Back in July of 2013, pieces of the ride fell off and 48 people had to be evacuated. Then, in November of 2013, some guide wheels flew off, injuring one of the passengers.
The 10-meter-tall ride called The Scream at China's Zhejiang Pingyang Amusement Park was opened to the public for the first time on Friday. Witnesses said the staff may have started the ride before the tourists had a chance to buckle their safety belts. Five people were thrown from the ride. A man and an 18-year-old boy were flung to their deaths. 3 others were injured and 2 of them critically.
Icelandic teen dies after falling from roller coaster at Spanish theme park. This is the Hell roller coaster at the Terra Mítica theme park in Benidorm, Spain. A ride that was to prove deadly for an 18-year-old Icelandic man. The roller coaster has been in operation since 2007. Riders can experience 360-degree turns at forces of up to 3G and speeds of 60 miles per hour. The teen was reportedly at the park with his parents and a friend when they went on the ride at about 4:30 p.m. Reports said the teen was flung from the ride when his safety harness failed, falling to the ground where he suffered serious head injuries. He later died from a cardiac arrest. An investigation has been opened into the accident while all rides made by the same manufacturer have temporarily ceased operations.
A Cedar Point guest was reportedly trying to retrieve a cell phone which had fallen below the Raptor roller coaster when he jumped over a fence into a restricted area. The Raptor ride can reach speeds up to 57 miles per hour. The man was hit by the roller coaster soon after jumping the fence. The amusement park and the Sandusky Police Department are investigating the accident.
Just a few seconds after this picture was taken last Wednesday, Leah Forrest nearly died. Her mom, Joan Forrest, says she'll never forget the moment a family fun day turned into a near-fatal tragedy at the Sandspit Amusement Park on Prince Edward Island. Leah and friends were on the rock and roll ride, which consists of cars positioned at the end of rotating arms. The cars, which can hold up to 4 people, spin in a circular direction while the entire ride also rotates. 15-year-old Leah Forrest says her restraining belt felt a bit loose and the ride operator failed to make the second safety check she was expecting. Shortly after the ride began, she was ejected from the car. After being thrown from the car and landing on the platform below, Leah was struck repeatedly by cars that slammed into her, throwing and tossing her, in her mom's words, like a rag doll. Finally, after being hit at least 5 times, Leah's parents caught the attention of the ride operator and it was shut down. Shockingly and happily, Leah's x-rays revealed no broken bones, no internal bleeding, and no significant injuries other than swelling, scrapes, and bruises. Matthew Jelly, the president of Sandspit Entertainment, said, sorry, with Twitter user @Goldsby calling it surprisingly meh. Rick Hastings went further, calling the park boss's response disastrously bad. The Forrest family are likewise unhappy with Jelly's "incidents do happen, sorry about that" reaction, and argue that obviously something went wrong. Do you smell a lawsuit?
Man becomes paralyzed after riding UK roller coaster. A British man was paralyzed during a roller coaster ride in Blackpool, England last Friday. 58-year-old Robert Sycamore and his 13-year-old great-nephew Harry Parler were excited to be the first aboard the Grand National roller coaster at Pleasure Beach Amusement Park. The 70-year-old coaster is known for its tight turns and curves, things every roller coaster fan enjoys. However, the forces generated by the sharp, sudden movements acted on Sycamore's spine. The whiplash effects caused the vertebrae in his neck to become inflamed, effectively paralyzing him by the time the train rolled back into the depot. Sycamore was previously diagnosed with spondylitis, an inflammation of the vertebrae in the back. It isn't known at this time if this contributed to his paralysis. An amusement park official said there were no problems with the ride itself, which has entertained around 500,000 guests this year without incident.
A young boy is in critical condition after falling from a ride at a theme park in Phoenix, Arizona on November 27. The accident has left him with a cracked skull and severe swelling of the brain. 12-year-old Dominic Leal was riding the splashdown along with his sister at Phoenix's Castles and Coasters Friday around 4 p.m. Leal's grandparents, who were present, say he waved his arms and yelled that he was sliding backwards. He then stood up, a detail recounted by other witnesses. His grandparents say Leal's foot then somehow became caught somewhere near the top of the ride. He then lost his balance and went over the side after being dragged a short distance. The ride is roughly 30 feet high. Leal struck his head at least once during his fall and has been operated on to relieve pressure on his brain caused by the swelling. This photo was taken just 10 minutes before the accident. Dominic Leal now lies in a Phoenix Children's Hospital bed, fighting for his life.